awesome perspective that blends not only the technology, but how to be able to enable our businesses or women to be able to unleash all this potential. And as Lizzy pointed out, this potential is there, but it's so easy to get distracted with so many other things that are taking place. That motivation, that perspective that she brings is significant. So Educentres is not just any trainer, it's a trainer that connects and identify with the people. So the sessions that we will be having will give those world-class technology and information. But what a difference when you can connect to the culture and the people to be able to unleash all that potential.
That's so true.
So it will help with the productivity and how agile a company really is in the end.
It will help the companies to survive.
Survive in general.
Because today, competition, we're not watching, organizations are not looking at people as the priority anymore. They're looking at the solutions, the end result, the bottom line, right? And the profit.
Which are all important, right? But when you look at the Agile Manifesto, so the Agile Manifesto has 4 values and principles behind it, right? And the first one is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. So I'm not saying processes and tools are bad, but if you take the processes and tools and you take the individuals away, you won't ever get a return on investment. Right. But if you build things that enable people to interact with each other, huge amounts of return on investment are made. You look at the fact of how addicted we all are to our phones. Processes and tools that are enabling human communication. So you can't miss the human out of the equation. You need the teams to build the technology. So if we don't get that collaboration back in the organization, you can be the biggest visionary in the world. You can't do it on your own.
Exactly. You need someone to help carry the vision.
People to help you carry the vision.
I know I've heard of one of the tools in the Scrum scholarship, really, the Scrum board, and how it's not only applicable for like IT web developers, but for any task that anyone is doing
everyday life.
And you start from what there is to do, or walk me through, Lizzy, how you go from.
So you go from a product backlog, which is kind of what we'd call your wish list of all the things you want to have happen, and you prioritize the key. Right. Is prioritization. And we teach people that when you're prioritizing by value. So you first have to define what is most valuable so you have that prioritization. So the most valuable thing is going to be at the top. And that's the thing you're going to move across your board. So now, today I'm going to work on this because it's the most valuable thing to me. Right. And it creates this huge level of transparency. So that's the whole idea behind the Scrum board, is making everything visible.
Right. So what will teams, if I want to sign up my company, how do I do that, and what size teams are you recommending to come along?
So we have a website. It's educentreslearning.com, and you can get information there on how to register and sign up. The teams that we target, small teams, usually in Scrum, usually between 5 to 10, Lizzy. But the workshop gives us the ability to be dynamic in how we deliver the actual courses.
Right.
And so Lizzy can tell you some more about how she plans to execute
the 2 days.
sessions.
So the way when I'm looking at who I'd like organizations to send,
yes,
I would definitely want leaders to come. The reason being is you can build great teams, but what happens if the organization hasn't signed on is it doesn't become successful. And I've seen it happen all over the world. So you go in and you start at a middle management level, which is not the right level to start. And then after a couple of months, it does this dip off. And people say, oh, it's because Agile's rubbish. Oh, Scrum's rubbish. We don't want it in our company. No, the leaders didn't buy into this. And if leadership don't buy into change and are not prepared to evolve a culture in an organization and shift processes, right, to enable this to happen, Scrum will work. So Scrum needs 3 things. It needs leadership engagement, right? It needs culture to be aligned, and it needs technology to be in place. So if you don't have a technology strategy for your company, you could bring Scrum in, but Scrum will never be able to deliver great products to you because you haven't taken care of the back end. So there's things that have to put in play that only leaders can do.
But I would challenge that. So let's say the top managers are not necessarily buying into it, but all the other persons, middle managers and everyone below them, the people pushers, want to buy into this and they're ready for change and a culture shift. If you empower that large majority of people, wouldn't that then propel leadership towards change?
It starts, but it depends on the culture of the leadership in the organization. It can look like a rebellion, and if you're in an organization where leaders are very hierarchical and they're not supporting that empowerment coming from the people, they'll kill it. So it has to be the two coming together in a merger of this is our goal and this is where we're trying to get to. And Scrum just becomes an enabler.
How many persons train to get certified, or how many Scrum coaches or trainers are there?
So in the world today, we have 270 global. I'm the only black female, period, that can do this. And out of those 270 of us, we go across the world. A lot prefer to stay in the US, and they don't like to travel. So there's only a few of us who kind of do the global trotting and enabling companies around the globe to do it. And then we have coaches that will come in on the ground level. So one of the things I do every now and again is I will do what we call big company transformations. So I will go with an organization, I will sit with the C-suite. We will